Dear learners, I am Dr. Chandrashekara YP, Assistant Professor, Department of Studies and Research in Geography, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. So, in this class, you know about rivers, soils and vegetation of Karnataka. Firstly, importance and major river system in Karnataka. Secondly, notice the significance, types and the spatial distribution of soils in Karnataka. Finally, you know about identify the natural vegetation with their types and distribution of Karnataka. Rivers are one of the most important natural resource, useful fresh water under the many purposes. The river systems of Karnataka largely depend on relief features, rainfall and watershed. The relief features of the state have determined the origin and direction of the rivers. According to the slope, many rivers flow towards the east and join the Bay of Bengal. Only the short and swift rivers flowing westward join the Arabian Sea. The east flowing rivers are long, comparatively west, broad and account for 87.7% of the total geographical area of the state. However, only 41.7% of the water flows through these rivers. Only the short and swift rivers flowing westward join the Arabian Sea. The east flowing rivers are long, broad and account for 87.7% of the total geographical area of the state. However, only 41.7% of the water flows through these rivers. In contrast, the west flowing rivers occupy only 12.9% of the total area of the state, but account for about 58.3% of the surface flowing water, indeed a lion shares. Namely, east flowing rivers and west flowing rivers. Most of the rivers of Karnataka rise in the Sahyadri range and flow eastward or southeastward and join the Bay of Bengal. The Krishna River, Kaveri, Pennar, Palar and these are tributaries of the rivers Godavari, and their tributaries constitute the most important east flowing rivers. The important west rivers are, there are a number of west flowing rivers in Karnataka, namely the Sharavati, the Kali, the Gangavali or Bedti, the Ganashini, the Netravati, the Varahi, etc. They are originate in the Sahyadri, that is Western Ghats, flow westward and join the Arabian Sea after passes through the district of Uttara Kannada, Udupi and Dakshina Kannada. A small part of their catchment area also lies in Dharwad, Shivamogga, Chikkamangaluru, Belagavi and Kodagu district. They are short and swift flowing rivers and cut across the rugged topography of Sahyadri range. These rivers provide a large amount of surface water for the state. It is estimated that the average annual flow is 57,000 cubic meters. They are mainly fed by the southwest monsoons and become full between June and August. Most of the west flowing rivers of the state are suitable for the generation of hydroelectricity as they have many rapids and waterfalls along their course. The Sita, the Kollur, the Salmala, the Payasvini, etc. are the other west flowing rivers of Karnataka. Next we will know about the brief introduction of soil of Karnataka. Soil is the one of the fundamental physical component of earth surface. Any kinds of livings are directly or indirectly depending on soils. Soil is the one of the fundamental resources for green on the earth. Soils are formed on the earth on physical, chemical and biological processes. Then what is soil? Soil is the mixture of inorganic minerals and organic materials which develop on the earth's surface. The major factors affecting the formation of soil are relief, parent material, climate, vegetation and other life forms and time. Besides, human activities also influence it to a large extent. Components of the soil are mineral particles, humus, water and air. The actual amount of each of these depends upon the type of soil. Some soils are deficient in one or more of these, while there are some others that have varied combinations. In the red soil, red sandy soil, red loamy soil, red gravelly clay soil and red clay soil. In black soils, deep black soil, medium deep soil and shallow black soil. In lateritic soils, lateritic gravelly soil is the major. Lastly, coastal soils. Here coastal lateritic soils and coastal alluvial soils are the major soils come under coastal soils. Soil plays a major role for economic and social development. It ensures food, fodder and renewable energy supplies to sustain human, animal and plant life. As such, it needs to be cared well. In Karnataka, many soil problems are noticed, such are soil erosion, and the human factors of soil erosion include mining, deforestation, overgrazing and deficiency in fertility, desertification, waterlogging, salinity and alkalinity, wasteland and urban development, industrialization affecting soil, etc. Some measures are taken to be cared well to soil in Karnataka are construction of check dams, ban on shifting cultivation, controlled grazing, afforestation, mixed cropping and mixed farming, etc. These practices include crop rotation, reduced tillage, mulching and cover cropping and cross slope farming. Farmers to increase soil organic matter content, soil structure and rooting depth, etc. Lastly, I will give you a brief introduction on natural vegetation of Karnataka. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits. Orchids are the part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits, orchids are the part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. The vegetation of Karnataka is unique and highly diverse. It forms an important component of the natural resources of the environment. Vegetation types include tropical evergreen, semi-evergreen, moist deciduous, dry deciduous, thorny scrubs, solas and coastal mangroves. And what is the significance of forest? Karnataka is endowed with rich and valuable forest resources ranging from the majestic evergreen forest to the scrub jungles. The Sahyadris, that is Western Ghats of Karnataka, are one of the 25 global priority hotspots of conservation and one of the 2 hotspots on the Indian subcontinent. Forests in Karnataka occupy an important place in the state's economy and play an important role in farming and livelihood of rural households. Forests are also important in the state to maintain ecological balance and for biodiversity conservation. Many species of trees of commercial value grow naturally in the forest of Karnataka. They are sandalwood, rosewood, teak, white cedar, etc. The state's forests are endowed with a rich variety of wildlife. In Karnataka, there are variety of species, but types and distribution of forest in Karnataka are: in Karnataka, forest has been classified on the basis of rainfall, relief features and type of soil. They are evergreen forest, deciduous forest, mixed forest, grasslands and scrubs. Firstly, we know about evergreen forest. The areas which are receiving more than 250 centimeters of rainfall annually have this kind of forest. On account of heavy rain and high temperature, almost 25 degree Celsius to 27 degree Celsius, the trees grow tall and dense. Secondly, deciduous forest or monsoon forest. After winter, due to lack of moisture in the soil, the trees shed their leaves. These are called deciduous forest. This kind of forest are found in areas receiving 60 to 120 centimeters of rainfall annually. The next is mixed forest. The growing of evergreen and deciduous trees together from the mixed forest. Areas receiving 120 to 150 centimeters rainfall annually have this kind of forest. For example, Udupi, some parts of Uttara Kannada, Dakshina Kannada, eastern parts of Kodagu, Chikkamangaluru, Hassan and Mysuru districts have this type of vegetation. And next, one more important vegetation is grasslands and shrubs. Areas receiving less than 60 centimeters annual rainfall have this kind of vegetation. Due to scanty rain and dry weather, there is a short grass, thorny shrubs and scrub vegetation. Dear students, you have a irrigation of Karnataka also in your syllabus. The artificial supply of water to the land in order to grow crops is called irrigation. Irrigation is an art and it is as old as civilization. It has been practiced in Karnataka state since ancient times. It comprises of 35 lakh hectares under major and medium irrigation projects, 10 lakh hectares under minor projects using surface water, and the remaining 10 lakh hectare is from groundwater. The average annual water supply from the rivers of Karnataka is roughly estimated as 3,475 TMC, almost 98,406. However, the economically utilizable water potential for irrigation is about 1,695 TMC. The final utilization is 1,156 TMC of Krishna Basin, 408.62 TMC for Kaveri Basin and 22.37 TMC for Godavari Basin and 103.31 TMC for others. We should know about the source of irrigation in Karnataka. Karnataka have more water resource, both surface and ground. The main source of irrigation used in Karnataka are wells, canals, tanks and others. Then we try to know about well irrigation. Lifting of groundwater from wells and supplying it to agricultural field is called well irrigation. It has been practiced in Karnataka since ancient times. In earlier days, wells were dug near the settlement for drinking water. Later, as a result of scarcity of rainfall for the cultivation of horticultural crops, vegetables, fruits, beetles, leaves, areca etc. Well irrigation came to be practiced. It has greatly increased during the past 3 or 4 decades and it is now a widely used method for irrigation in the state. About 21.3 lakh hectares is under well irrigation, which accounts for about 54.0% of the total irrigated area in the state. Next is canal irrigation. Canal irrigation was the most important source of irrigation in Karnataka in the recent past. However, now it ranks second after well irrigation. About 29.0% of the total irrigated area is under canal irrigation, including lift irrigation. Then next is tank irrigation. The constructions of small earthen or stone bunds across small streams to form small reservoirs produce tanks. They are built by individual farmers or groups of farmers, mainly to provide water for irrigation and drinking for rural people. Tanks are of varying sizes, but most of the tanks are small in size. However, there are some big tanks which are still under good condition. For example, Sulekere, Shanta Sagar in Shivamogga district, which is the largest tank in Karnataka. Other large tanks are Ayyana Kere, Madagana Kere, Vyasa Samudra and Rama Sagara etc. About 1.4 lakh hectares of land is under tank irrigation in the state. It accounts for 3.4% of the total irrigated land in Karnataka. Then other sources of irrigation in Karnataka is, in addition to above sources of irrigation, about 11.4% of the agricultural land, nearly 4.5 lakh hectares, is irrigated through other sources like lift irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation. These are also an important sources of irrigation in Karnataka. Dear students, you learnt about river system, soil, vegetations and irrigation facilities in Karnataka. Thank you.